Press play.
Replay, replay, replay.
You're watching Play Replay with Async. Now today I want to talk about some horror movies since it's getting close to Halloween, and I know a lot of people are into Halloween. I'm not a super fanatic for Halloween. I don't really care. It's just a thing. But I know a lot of people enjoy watching scary movies around that time of year, so I figured why not talk about some horror movies. But before I do so, why don't you please hit that subscribe button and like. It helps out my channel greatly, and I'm really trying to grow this channel. I am really working hard to try and grow this channel, and for some reason this channel does not seem to be growing as much as others I've had in the past. So I just wanted to put that out there for whoever. So please hit that subscribe button, and I guess that's pretty much everything I need to say about that. So let's get back to it. Okay, horror movies that I think are notable and worth watching. Now keep in mind, I'm not into like movies like Saw. I'm not into that type of gruesome death trap kind of brutal horror type stuff. I'm not a I'm not really a I'm not against stuff like Halloween or Friday the 13th and like Freddy Krueger, like Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff like that. I'm not against it. I just never find myself wanting to watch those movies really like badly. Like they're not something I'm really dying for, I guess. So I think the only Halloween movie, and I think I talked about this in the past, that I think is really kind of interesting just because of the concept is cool, and that is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I know that's the one that pretty much everyone hates, but that's the one I think the story, if they were to remake it and have better special effects, I think that story would have been much better. Well, much more well done, I guess, back then. But they didn't have a great budget. They didn't have special effects like we have now. So it's what it is. So that one, I'll just say that one is one that I would recommend if you're into it. It's not really the Halloween with Michael Myers and the mask and all that stuff, but it's got masks in it, and it does have a little bit of story revolving around that. So I would say to check that out. It's an older one. So another great horror movie that I think is cool to watch, and this one's more recent because I'm just going to kind of mix it up. And this one's called The Babadook. I don't know if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, it's a pretty good movie. I actually thought it was pretty well done. It's kind of scary. It's got some like jump scares, and there's some just creepy stuff that happens in it. And it's basically a little kid's book type of thing that the Babadook comes to life, basically. And this little kid's book is very creepy to look through. I mean, this is not something a kid should be looking through. But anyway, it's just kind of got this things that go bump in the night, kind of creeper type of monster under your bed in the shadows type of feel to it. So that's another good one. So I would definitely say check out the Babadook movie. Another one that I really enjoy for horror movies is Phantasm. The first one more than all the other ones. There's been a bunch of them, but Phantasm, the first one, is awesome, and I think that it's just different from a lot of horror movies that came out in the period. And this is like an older 80s like movie, or what was it, 80s movie, I don't remember what it was, but anyway, it was a very good horror movie for its time. And there's even this little ball that just kind of goes through the air and just kind of like literally kills people. And there's just so much to it. I'm not going to get into all of it. I'm not going to break it down, but Phantasm is a great horror movie from back in the day, and I would definitely recommend that. So that's another one. The Thing, the John Carpenter one from the 70s or 80s, I can't remember when that came out. It was around when I was a kid anyway. It scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. So that one is cool and everything, but I actually think the newer one, the Thing, I don't know what the difference is. Why did they just call it The Thing? Anyway, the newer one, that came out a few years back. That one I think was pretty good too. Um, I didn't mind it. It's not like a bad version of it. It was creepy. It had all kinds of elements, and it kind of was a prequel to the John Carpenter movie, The Thing. So that's kind of interesting. But it had it had the gory type of scary type of stuff in it, but it had better special effects, of course. But that one wasn't bad either, and it did get into the alien element and all that, and what's happening underneath the ice in this area. It just has the way it ends. It kind of lines up with the John Carpenter The Thing movie. It just kind of picks up where the new one left off, which is kind of strange that it's the newer one and looks great, and then whatever. It's just the way it is. So that's a good one. I would just say check that one out as well. Um, uh, Night of the Creeps. That's the one I've talked about that one before on this channel. Night of the Creeps is a good 80s horror movie that's kind of just I don't know. It's more of like a just sit down and just chill out and watch this goofy. It's kind of like funny, kind of creepy element, kind of horror movie from the 80s. I mean, there's some funny stuff in it, and I enjoyed a lot of that stuff. And the actor that plays the cop in it, I talked about him before. I think he's great in that movie. But yeah, he's also in the Halloween season of The Witch. So he's also in that. So that's kind of cool. If I remember correctly, I believe so though. But I'm trying to think of some other ones that I wanted to mention. There's some older stuff that you can watch on Tubi. I know there's a lot of horror movies on there. So I would definitely say to watch Tubi and check out their horror collection. I did watch recently, not too long ago. I think it was called Mandy or whatever. Yeah, Mandy. Anyway, it has Nicolas Cage in it, and that's a weird, weird, weird kind of creepy horror movie. It's a strange movie, man. But it feels like you just took like drugs and watched a movie, because that's kind of how it feels when you're watching, like the movie's filmed like that. It's very bizarre. So Mandy is something. It's got a lot of gory stuff in it, and it's got a lot of heartbreaking stuff, and there's some weird stuff that happens in it. I know Nicolas Cage at one point says that some Jesus freaks took his wife or something. I'm like, why would you? It's a cult. Why do you have to say Jesus freaks as in they're Christians? What? I hate it when people say, they always use Christians as whenever there's a cult, it has to be Christianity. It can't be Islam. It can't be any other. No, it's just got to be Christians. What? It just drives me nuts. But I know Hollywood hates Christianity. I know they absolutely hate Jesus Christ and all of the stuff around that. There's no other religion that they have more offense to than Christianity. So I don't know. You see that a lot in movies, and I'm just used to seeing somebody beating you over the head saying, "Oh, it's those Christians again." Please get a new idea. It's getting boring. But yeah. So that's my rant. I'm done with that now. But yeah, I would definitely say to check out Mandy. That's something that's not too bad to just sit at home and watch, and whatever. You might like it, you might not. It's kind of a slow moving movie, and it has a lot of bizarre stuff in it, but it's rated R definitely. So it's got a lot of violence and a lot of crazy stuff happening in it. But another one I would say to watch is the Return of the Living Dead franchise. I mentioned that in the past too. Those movies are good, but I think the first one is better than all of them, I think. I don't know. It's just something that I always thought was better than the other ones. And then there's another one, Creepshow, that has it's like a little anthology type of thing where it's got little 3 short films within one movie, and those are cool. I think there's 2 of them, maybe 3 of them now. I know there was a show that they did on some place. They did a show on one of these platforms, but I never watched all that. I just watched 1 and 2 when they came out a long time ago, and those were pretty good. And not every story is going to be great, but they had some cool ideas for stories in some of those ones. So I would definitely say to check out some of those. I would say to check out some H.P. Lovecraft movies, but I've never seen a H.P. Lovecraft specific movie that I've completely enjoyed. Like I've thought this is Lovecraft, and trust me, I used to I used to be immersed in the Lovecraft like mythos and stuff. I used to love that stuff so much that I there's like a key stories that in Lovecraft that I really would love to see done actually copying the book and not changing everything. Just stick to the book, stick to the stories, you know. And there's a couple of them I just want to see on the big screen, but they just will never do them, and they never do them right. Or you'll have like directors say, "Well, I think Alien was basically at the Mountains of Madness, so we shouldn't have to make the Mountains of Madness." No, let's make the Mountains of Madness, and you can like Alien, and you can have both. You know, how about that? But I think the budget would have to be pretty big to do at the Mountains of Madness, just because there's some monster elements and there could be some flashback type stuff where you show even more crazy stuff like super CGI stuff. Yeah, at the Mountains of Madness is a great story, and I just think that it would be it is basically the movie The Thing, but I think the Thing is not exactly at the Mountains of Madness. I want the Mountains of Madness to be a film. I don't want it to be, you know, I don't want to have to watch the movie The Thing and just go, well, maybe this is like that. Well, anyway, I don't want to get into all that, but yeah, those are some good ones anyway. I don't want this video to be super long. So anyway, tell me which ones you would say to watch or whatever if you're into horror movies or whatever. Maybe there's some good ones that I don't know about. I would just say check out the ones I said, and then yeah, tell me what you think in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.